a prehistoric reptile hunted in waters right above this soil.
And this is the skull.
About 66 million years old, some 4 meters tall and 12 meters long.
The lands of the prehistoric planet were ruled by the dinosaurs.
Scientists just named a new 43-foot predator from Texas, and the bones in its stomach reveal it ate almost everything, including its own kind. 80 million years ago, the state of Texas did not exist as we know it. Where cities and highways now stretch across the dry plains, there was nothing but open ocean, a vast, warm inland sea that split the entire North American continent in two. And ruling those waters was a monster so enormous, so perfectly built for killing, that nothing else in the sea was safe from it. Scientists have just formally named this creature from fossils unearthed in northern Texas, a colossal marine predator stretching up to 43 feet long, roughly 13 meters, longer than a school bus. They gave it a name that says everything about what it was: Tylosaurus rex, the king. It was an apex predator at the very top of its world's food chain. And when researchers examined what creatures like it actually hunted and swallowed, the answer was genuinely disturbing, because this 43-foot sea monster ate almost everything in the ocean, including sometimes its own kind. Share this with everyone you know, because the story of Tylosaurus rex is also the story of a lost world hidden right beneath the American heartland, a time when Texas, Kansas, and the entire center of the continent lay drowned beneath a shallow tropical sea swarming with sharks, giant reptiles, and creatures that would look like nightmares to us today. And the most astonishing part is that this particular monster wasn't dug fresh out of the ground. It was hiding in plain sight, sitting unrecognized in a museum collection for decades before anyone realized what it truly was. Before we break down exactly what this creature was, what it hunted, and the terrifying truth about how it killed, make sure you subscribe to Vault of Discovery. We're giving you the real science that rewrites the textbooks. First, you have to picture the world this monster lived in. During the late Cretaceous period, around 80 million years ago, a shallow inland ocean called the Western Interior Seaway divided North America from north to south, running right through the middle of what is now the United States. Northern Texas sat beneath those waves, and today, that ancient seabed has made the region one of the most productive sources of Cretaceous marine fossils in all of North America. The bones buried in that old seafloor are a window into one of the most dangerous oceans that ever existed on Earth, and Tylosaurus rex was its undisputed ruler. Think about what it took to discover it. The fossils that turned out to be a brand new species had been collected in northern Texas and stored in museum collections for years, quietly waiting in a drawer. It wasn't until researchers re-examined the skeletal material with modern analysis that they realized the bones carried diagnostic features setting this animal apart as a distinct species. A king that had been sitting unnamed in storage, its true identity unknown to science until 2026. But here's the first shocking twist. This 43-foot monster was not a dinosaur. It's easy to assume that anything that huge and ancient must be a dino. But Tylosaurus belonged to a completely different group of animals called mosasaurs, giant marine reptiles that were actually close relatives of modern monitor lizards and snakes. Picture that for a moment, a snake's distant cousin, grown to the length of a bus, fully adapted to life in the open ocean, with paddle-like limbs and a powerful tail driving it through the water like a torpedo. While dinosaurs ruled the land, the seas belonged to these creatures. Tylosaurus was the marine equivalent of a Tyrannosaurus. If T-Rex was the king of the land, Tylosaurus was the king of the Cretaceous seas. And then it got stranger, because of the bizarre weapon built into its skull. Tylosaurus belonged to a subgroup called the Tylosaurians, and they had a signature feature, an elongated, blunt-ended, almost toothless snout at the very front of the head, used not for biting, but for ramming. This bony battering ram extended out beyond its teeth like the prow of a warship. Scientists believe Tylosaurus used it to charge prey at high speed, slamming into them to stun and disable them before tearing them apart, and possibly even using it to fight other members of its own species. Its head was so massive that it could swallow medium-sized animals whole. This wasn't just a big fish eater. This was a precision-engineered killing machine. Then came the second devastating revelation, the part that tells us exactly what it was like to share an ocean with this thing. Because we don't have to guess what Tylosaurus ate. We have the evidence preserved inside fossilized stomachs, and the menu is horrifying. Preserved gut contents from Tylosaurus specimens reveal a creature for which almost nothing in the sea was off the menu. Fish, sharks, sea turtles, and the massive long-necked marine reptiles called plesiosaurs. Let that sink in. This monster didn't just eat fish, it hunted and devoured sharks. It killed and swallowed plesiosaurs, enormous predators in their own right. It was an apex predator that ate other apex predators, sitting at the absolute top of one of the deadliest food chains in the history of the planet. But it gets worse and stranger. Among the bones found inside Tylosaurus stomachs were the remains of flightless diving birds called Hesperornis, seabirds that swam through the Cretaceous Ocean and ended up snatched and swallowed by the monster lurking below them. Imagine a bird diving for fish, only to be ambushed from the deep by a 43-foot reptile rising up out of the dark. Nothing that swam, dove, or floated in that sea was truly safe. As one description put it, the large size of Tylosaurus meant it easily achieved apex status, and absolutely nothing was off the menu. But the third twist changes everything about just how merciless this predator truly was, because hidden in the fossil record is evidence of something darker than ordinary hunting: cannibalism. In one chilling discovery from the same seaway, scientists found the bones of a smaller mosasaur preserved inside the ribcage of a larger Tylosaurus, the unmistakable remains of one of these giant reptiles eating another. The stomach contents of Tylosaurus specimens have repeatedly been found to include smaller mosasaurs, proving that these monsters sometimes turned on their own kind. Whether they were hunting weakened rivals or simply taking whatever prey was available, the message in the bones is clear. In the world of Tylosaurus rex, even being a giant sea monster did not make you safe. The greatest threat to a mosasaur was another bigger mosasaur. Think about what that reveals about this lost ocean. The Western Interior Seaway wasn't just dangerous, it was a brutal evolutionary arms race, a world where apex predators preyed on apex predators, where the only thing capable of killing a monster was a larger monster. Tylosaurus rex sat at the very pinnacle of that world, 43 feet of muscle, teeth, and bone, with a battering ram for a face and a stomach that had room for sharks, sea turtles, plesiosaurs, diving birds, and its own relatives. For millions of years, it ruled the waters that covered Texas without challenge. And then, around 66 million years ago, the asteroid struck. The Great Extinction swept the planet, and these incredible sea kings vanished forever, dying out at the same time as the dinosaurs they lived alongside. One thing is absolutely certain. The discovery of Tylosaurus rex has reopened a window into one of the most terrifying ecosystems that ever existed on Earth, hidden right beneath the American Southwest. It revealed a 43-foot marine reptile that ruled the seas covering ancient Texas. It revealed a hunter that used a bony ram to smash its prey, and a jaw that could swallow animals whole. And it revealed, in the fossilized contents of its own stomach, a predator so dominant that it fed on sharks, giant reptiles, seabirds, and even other monsters of its own kind. The waters of Texas were once ruled by a true king of the deep, and the bones it left behind prove that almost nothing in that ancient sea was beyond its reach. And paleontologists believe the old seabed beneath Texas still holds more bones, more species, perhaps even larger predators still waiting in the rock and in the forgotten drawers of museum collections. As scientists keep digging and re-examining what's already been found, the king of the Texas seas may prove to be only one of many monsters that once ruled that drowned world. When the next set of bones is finally identified, the story of what truly lurked beneath ancient North America may have to be rewritten all over again. Stay tuned.